Hi, I'm your L7 movie guy, PR Marks. This is a show for all your movie streaming recommendations and reviews. Let's get started. First up we have is So Torn, a crime thriller / comedy where a seamstress gets tangled in her own thread after stealing a briefcase from a drug deal gone bad. In an escalating game of cat and mouse, her different choices lead to drastically different outcomes along the way.
Too many choices!
Now, I must say this was interesting and different because it was based on a 2019 short film and it was not your typical crime thriller. But it definitely does have its generic themes and tropes of a crime thriller film.
Of course it does.
What made this one unique though was how methodically planned out it was in directions of its storytelling. For the fact it was told very well through its pacing of its editing, as well as its 3 redo chapter structure, with the idea of using sewing items and sewing tools to shape the outcome of its story, as well as cleverly introducing us to a character that is truly a master at her craft, as well as crafting these items together to help her situation or make her situation better, which was brilliantly shown by our medium shots and our close-up shots that was captured by our cinematographer. That at times would make you wonder if it's even plausible that sewing strings could even be this strong.
Oh, it's a piece of string.
Not just any string. The string.
As for the majority of the characters in this, I would say they're pretty much on the generic side of things. Cause you have the most basic small town characters in this, as well as the generic crime thriller characters in this that seems very familiar or that we've seen many times before. But for some strange reason, they added this family dynamic between these two villain characters that was ultimately very cold-hearted, but it was great for, building of tension and made the stakes even higher.
Now, tension is certainly high here.
Now, when it comes to our female lead, she was pretty good. And she was written very beautifully to express every emotion that she delivered. Whether it was her being sad or fierce or even closed off from others, it all worked really well for the story. The only problem for me when it comes to her character was the fact that she knew exactly what to do and when to do it with no struggle. Also, in such a calm, collective manner when she's using these sewing items as weapons, it just felt like, how does she know what exactly to do?
Quick, make something up!
Overall, this was pretty cool, innovative, as well as entertaining of a watch. It's like that movie Boss Level meets Small Town Vibes with a twist. The only thing that I would truly nitpick out of this is that there's this dance number scene that felt very silly and oddly out of place.
So much fun. I mean, we were whining, we were dining, we were dancing. What?
This minute.
It's dancing.
No, that ain't dancing, Sally.
I dance fine.
You stink.
Either way, if you're a fan of these redo type chapter type films, then I would say definitely check this one out. And for me, it's going to be a yay. But for an audience thumb scale, it's going to be a 3 out of 5. So I'd like to take a quick break and talk about Stranger Things since the series just ended, and give you my quick thoughts about it as a whole. First off, I want to say that I have been a big fan of this series from the very beginning, and the 2-hour finale episode was nicely wrapped up because it ended where it all began, playing D&D in Mike's basement.
You're a fucking nerd.
All the characters for the most part were pretty awesome, and it was really cool to see how their character arcs grew throughout the show. I do think out of all the seasons, the 3rd season is probably my favorite because of all the 80 references and 80 galore, as well as it had the best mixture of sci-fi horror and sci-fi action. If I had to make any type of complaint, it would be the last 2 seasons because it was filled with so much exposition dialogue that it really killed certain episodes, which dragged on for certain things, as well as slowed down the excitement level I had for certain characters, subplots, as well as story arc as a whole. That ultimately made me wish that they would have changed some things around and ended on season 4.
And go out on a high note.
Still though, this was good enough to keep me watching and not give up on the series at all. So if you have not seen the series and you're fans of films like E.T., The Goonies, as well as James Cameron's Aliens, then I would say definitely check this one out because it won't disappoint. Last up we have is The Smashing Machine, a sports drama true story about a mixed martial artist and UFC fighter, Mark Kerr, whose obsession with greatness made him a legend in the sport, which nearly cost him everything.
Nothing left! Nothing!
So I must say, wow, what a disappointment of a possible gut-punching, uplifting movie this could have been. Cause the movie does do a fantastic job of showing the highs and lows of a fighter's struggle within the sport as well as home life, which seems very good on paper for a biopic, but it's very lackluster in terms of the struggles of what goes on in the film. For example, if somebody's having trouble with drug abuse, then you might want to show how hard it is to break free from that, as well as show the ODing scene. Because instead of talking about it constantly, seeing it is believing it.
1. Two. 3.
Now for the technical standpoint, I would say it's very stylistic in the overall look of the era as well as its locations throughout the film. Which also for this, I have to give credit to the cinematographer, the color grading, as well as the musical choices that ultimately made me feel like I was there in the moment.
I can already picture it.
I would say for the actors and their characters, the majority of them did okay, or at least tried their best. Maybe for the fact that there weren't that many actors in this to begin with. Or the fact that 2 of our actors are retired MMA fighters and you can just tell for one of them has no acting skills whatsoever.
It certainly does suck.
If I had to pick any major standouts in terms of performances, I would say it's probably Emily Blunt as well as Dwayne Johnson. Cause Emily Blunt did a terrific job of playing an overbearing, distracting, unstable girlfriend of Mark Kerr. As for Dwayne Johnson's character, he truly was fantastic and really embodied and did all the mannerisms of Mark Kerr, as well as showcased how he truly was one of the pioneers of this sport. Also for this role, he really did change his overall look as well as body structure, and when you think that Dwayne Johnson couldn't get any more crazy muscular, then you'd be dead wrong.
Wait, you bred a pig?
Sure did. Most genetically perfect one in the contest.
Oink. Oh my god.
Yes, he's something, isn't he?
Are those fists?
Damn right, show him, pig.
In the end, if you like true stories or sports films or even biopics, then I would say definitely check this one out. But for me, I felt it was a little too easy when it came to its story structure, as well as a little too short for its runtime, especially for the fact that it was about one of the pioneers of the sport of MMA, as well as UFC. So that is why I'm going to give this one a nay. But for an audience thumb scale, I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 5. Well, that's all the time we have. As always, smash that like and subscribe button. And if you liked any of the movies we discussed, please leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching, and may the movies be with you. Lates.